concerning surrounding this adoption, the CNG adoption in Nigeria, in your opinion?
Um, in my opinion, every energy source has its merits and its demerits, and also uses and risk factors associated with it. Because one or two incidences happen does not make it a bad source of energy. What really need to be done is safety measures has to be put in place, as well as the conveying trucks have to be thoroughly looked at. We are in a digital world now, where almost we have a lot of detectors, early detection. In case of leakage, we can place so many devices around the truck, or maybe where they are processing the gas for safety and uh, risk factors to be limited.
Mm. Okay, but going in with the reality we have on ground now, we don't really necessarily. Sometimes we tend to throw caution to the wind because the particular case that happened in Benin, investigations reveal that the technician actually went to do the installation himself because of the price of installation. I think it ranges from 600,000 and above. So not a lot of people can afford that. So some Nigerians are taking it into their hands now to do it themselves without proper training. So given this reality we have now, um, do you think the risks, the benefits outweigh the risks of the CNG, the adoption of this? Hello, engineer.
Well, in every system, every systems that is going to be used by public have to have a certified installer. Energy sources are not what you just give to any technician on the roadside. They have to be trained, properly certified, and the materials to be used have to suit conformity. They have to be of high standard.
Okay.
Agency that must regulate the installation of CNG outlets. You don't just pick a gas seller on the road and say because he has been selling cooking gas that he should come and do installation. So I feel government should also be interested, and the installers also must be registered. There must be a database
Mm.
to register anybody that is going to do installation for CNG. Not minding the cost. It should not be a thing of cost alone, because if you look at it, the CNG is compressed natural gas. When you say compressed, that means the energy that is in a single bottled unit is high. We have the risk of explosion, we have the risk of fire outbreak, we have the risk of leakage. So by doing all that, you must have a trained installer to
Mm.
do it.
Mm.
And when that installation is complete, an expert have to come and check to see that the proper thing is done.
Mm.
That is what is practiced in other places all over the world.
Mm.
I think, in developed world, gases are wired to houses,
Mm.
and they don't have issues like this. So again, we need to wake up and do things the proper way.
Okay, so I was asking that, are the benefits of the adoption now in the country, is it worth the potential safety risks? Like you mentioned, there's a tendency to explode. So is it something that should the adoption continue, giving your expert advice, or certain things should be done first and put in place first before it's a rapid push?
Mm. The line wasn't too clear, now when you are on a network at times. I
Okay,
don't
can
know.
you
The
hear
line was
me?
just. Yes, I'm hearing you, but there's a cracking sound on the line.
On the
But
line.
again, carry on. I would listen more attentively, and let's see if we can make something out.
Okay,
So please,
so I said, are the benefits of the CNG adoption what the potential safety risks?
what is the
The benefits of it now, because we're
uh,
told that it's going to be cheaper, and
yeah,
it will help save transportation cost. But then when we look at the risks associated with it, is it worth it? Is the adoption worth it?
Yes, it is the merits, the cost, and every other good advantageous points of using it far outweighs the risk. It far outweighs the risk. We cannot say because there are few or scattered incidents here and there that is not a good use. Because at the very end, energy costs, if you look at other energy costs, they are rising. Like your PMS, you can see your electrical energy usage is rising, diesel is rising. But the CNG cost is not rising in the same proportion with that. So in terms of cost and in terms of usage, is the way to go.
Mm.
It's the way to go. So we won't say it should not be followed well. That is
Mm.
my own. That
That
is
is
my
your
own input.
opinion.
So
But
you
now you,
people
you
can
said
still use it.
the price is not high now. Don't you think, do you think this is going to stay the same down the line? Are we not going to see an increase in price once a lot of people adopt the
Well,
CNG?
and that was why I talk of proportionality. If you look at the rate at which resources are increasing, maybe your PMS, it might not be the same proportion to which your compressor is increasing.
Mm. No, your
So
voice is
at the long
breaking.
run, there will be a cost saving using CNG as long as the proper safety guidelines is put in place.
Mm. Okay. Now, let me be clear. Is the CNG the same as, is it the same as cooking gas? Do they have the same risks associated with it?
Well, they are all fossil fuel. Like your CNG, the main constituent is maintain gas. That is the main constituent of uh, of CNG. But your
Mm.
cooking gas, the main constituent is butane. You go to a little bit of chemistry, hydrocarbon, you will see that there, there is a difference. Both of them are hydrocarbon, but the molecular weight or the energy released by per volume differs. They are not the same.
Mm.
CNG is different from cooking gas.
Okay.
But that is, yes, that is not to say if you want to use a CNG as a cooking gas, that means you might need other various uses of cookers, gas cookers to be used, probably because it's more volatile. The CNG is more volatile than the butane gas, which we use for cooking. So flammability and volatility also goes with risk. That is the issue.
Okay. What are the positives? What are the what's the how do I put it now? What are the benefits of the CNG? What are some benefits to the environment and just to Nigerians?
Well, the CNG is a naturally occurring source of energy, and like I said, look at the uh, cost, and the
All
volume,
right, so
the
I'm gonna try to
availability of the.
reconnect with you just because your voice just keeps breaking. So I'll try to reconnect with Engineer Frederick at this point. If you're listening to us, we're looking at safety concerns surrounding the compressed natural gas as an alternative fuel. I know we're quick to adopt things, but then we have to look at the safety concerns, given that some of our brothers and brothers mostly are already installing the CNG by themselves. Hello, engineer. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
All
hear
right.
you now.
So I was asking, what benefits is it to the environment and even to your sector? Like, how does it help with other things there in the energy
Um,
sector? Yeah.
yeah, if you look at the benefit to the environment, like I said, the um, is a is a gas, and it is a thing that must be carefully contained
Okay.
or
So
stored.
I'm just saying that. What do you think about the initiative's potential impact on the country's energy landscape? Like, what are some of the positive parts of this?
Um, the positive part of the CNG gas is we have some reserve and in large quantities. if we can actually sell them to the outside world, like we say, the way we sell crude oil, that is the essence. We can make some foreign exchange earnings from it and
Okay.
improve a lot in other areas. It's a source of foreign exchange to the country.
Okay.
And if, Nigeria is also going modern, if we now have modern cities where gases can be wired to houses or whatever, it can also become a source of use of energy, a source of employment to the supply chain. People install, people supply, and all those things
Mm.
will now be in place. So it has a lot of benefit for the country.
For the country. All right. So the country's current infrastructure, do you think it's sufficient enough to support its widespread adoption?
Yes, at this stage, no. But like every system, you build on it. You start from a place, you begin to expand, you put things in place. It's a gradual thing. It's not a thing you do overnight.
So,
So
so how do you think the
if
build-up has been? Because now there are a lot of complaints about accessibility, and even those that can access it, complaining about the price. Because this is an initiative that is for the masses. You know, it's meant to cushion the effects of subsidy removal, but then installation is costing like over 1 million for some people that have gone there and given us feedback. So, if it's for the masses, where is the common man going to see 1 point something million just for installation?
like it to be for the if you for it to be for everyone at the end. The despite the initial cost of installation, in every business you need to put in money, and when you put in money, money brings money. So we should not look at that. Is if we have to look at subsidizing, that means I don't know of any bank at the moment that is supporting
But this is a federal
TNG.
government initiative. It's not. I don't think it's not a. It's not a business venture. It's meant to cushion the effect of subsidy removal. So don't you think that this should also be, minimized in terms of cost for Nigerians? Because Nigerians pay tax, and I mean, if it's for the people, then shouldn't it be subsidized as well? Because yes, a liter is likely like 250 naira or thereabouts, which is cheaper than what we're getting fuel at the moment. But what are some adjustments you think should be made? Because you talked about the build up. That's why I asked you about this. That it builds up. But now, how would you think? How do you think the build up to the widespread adoption is looking?
As you know, when we begin to talk of subsidy in terms of CNG, we might not move as fast as we should. As we can see now, the government is reducing. They are trying to remove subsidy from petroleum, from petroleum products like fuel and diesel. The energy cost for tariff, electric bill is increasing. What the government can do is, as usual, your government should be like a supervisory role. Allow foreign investment in that area. Create enabling environments, and so that if foreigners can come here, invest in it, and make more money, I think and have outlets just like you have filling stations here and there. I think the cost of installation, or we'll be talking of subsidy. More we're talking of more now is availability. If it's available and people can get it at a good price, then competition brings reduction in prices. So subsidy now is a thing of the past in this country, as we are seeing, because any country that wants to grow, the citizens must bear the cost of energy. That is how it is. So,
Mm.
so that
Okay,
is
so
how
you,
it is.
you,
And
you
that is how
said
it should be.
you said the current infrastructure is not sufficient enough. So what are some recommendations you'd make as regards that?
Pardon, please.
You said I asked about Nigeria's current infrastructure, if it's sufficient enough to support the spread of CNG adoption, and you said it's not sufficient enough. So what are some areas you think it should be worked on?
The area to be worked on, like I said, is creating the environment for expertise to move in, and giving licenses to competent companies, and let us just move. We need to move forward. Like I also said before, they have to be, if there is investment, if the business becomes enticing. Look at the way our GSM went. People came putting money, and today we are enjoying it. So it's also going to be like that. It gradually will grow. People with expertise in that field will come in, and there will be growth.
Okay, so are there adequate regulations and standards in place to ensure CNG safety? Do you think the regulations are um, firm enough? I know you talked about bringing more experts. So if you can expatiate, like some of the what are regulations gaps that you think should be covered or tied?
Uh, we we have the EPA Clean Air system. Environmental Protection Agency is there. They should have an area covering the use of CNG, the deployment and usage and storage. We have other regulatory body like OSOH, and as we
About ensuring compliance with safety regulations. You said there are already regulations. So how can the government ensure compliance from Nigerians?
government, as usual, we have their offices and staff, and they'll be deployed just like we have filling stations. We have the PPMC, or an agency under the petroleum industry. They come, they look at your installations. They look at how you store your products. They look at how you dispense. They look at safety issues put in place. So also this should be, because it's a source of energy. Energy is usually very risky when not adequately monitored, and put all the necessary things in place. The safeguard, the risk factors have to be meticulously, addressed.
Okay.
So that is where we will need to start from.
Okay. So do you think like trainings should be organized for more handlers to get more experts for the CNG installation and all? What's the role of public education in mitigating these safety risks and concerns? Hello, Engineer Frederick. Engineer Frederick?
Hello, hello. Yes, the network just
Yes.
went off
So
a bit brief.
I said, what is the role of public education? Like, should do you think that in line with pushing out the CNG, initiatives as the alternative for fuel, should there be trainings organized for more Nigerians to be able to learn the installation? What's the role of public education? Like, how can more Nigerians be aware and comply with the safety rules?
Any new system, anything put into place, you must create awareness. Awareness must, people must know, either through appropriate authorities, or through those that will be involved in the deployment of the system, and those that are also going to use them.
Okay. What's your personal experience with a CNG? Is there a filling station around you?
Um, it's good. It's cool for me. It's okay. And like I said, we need to somehow bring down the cost of energy, because it's what everyone will need one way or the other. Either in the office, either at home, either in the hospital, or either in the factories. It's something that we need time to time. So
Okay.
it's a
Like,
nice
is
one.
there
It's
is
a good
there a
one.
filling station around you? Have you had your personal experience with it?
Like I said, actually in First Tag. I don't see anyone around here. None for now. None for now.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yes.
If you want to ask Engineer Frederick a question, you can be a part of the conversation. You can call 0805 092 0927. That's 0805 092 0927. or 0705-890-4927. You can send a WhatsApp message to 0705-690-0927. We're looking at the concerns about CNG and safety concerns, basically. So we're just going over the regulations and, whatever concern you may have, be it the cost and all, you can contribute to the program. Now, Engineer Frederick, are you still there
Yes,
with us?
yes, I'm here. You said?
Yeah, so more on regulations. I need you to expatiate. You talked about some bodies that are meant to oversee this. How do you think they are doing so far? Are they faring well? Are they properly regulating this?
Yeah, they are doing. They are not doing too badly. They are moving. Gradually. You said they are moving because the deployment is not as widespread as it should be. Maybe with time, every state will have its own agency. Every locality will have is something that will take some time to build, and so that adequate monitoring can be done by these agencies, so
Okay.
that the regulations and the safety guards can be properly enforced.
Okay. So how do
Yeah.
you see CNG impacting Nigeria's energy future?
There is going to be it's going to be a positive impact because job employment, there will be more savings, there will be cheaper energy source, and we'll grow, we'll
Mm.
grow with when things are done properly.
Mm. So, as an expert in the field, I need you to please expatiate. Um, Let us know more about the energy sector and how you see this impacting it. And okay, we have a call here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good to
Good
have you.
morning.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Toby. I'm calling from Bariga.
All right, Toby, welcome. What's your contribution question?
Yeah, the one issue I have with this CNG is the installation price. We want to do this so that we can alleviate the poverty, or at least reduce the rate at which we pay for all these things. The installation fee is so much that even the average Nigerian cannot even go for it. I was asking for my Sienna, and I was like, yeah, I've been to about 1 point something million to convert my. So,
Wow.
and the second thing I'm scared about is this is Nigeria. When they told us about this cooking gas,
Okay.
we all moved to cooking gas, and once everyone was on cooking gas, the price of the cooking gas skyrocketed to like over 1,000% of what we started with. So is this CNG also, is it not going to be like cooking gas? Okay, let's say we even squeeze ourselves to pay for it, to find the money and convert. And after conversion, what will happen? Because that's my own issue. That's my own fear about all these things. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Toby. Thank you for your contribution. I appreciate you calling in. All right. You too can be a part of the program. You can call in to contribute and ask questions. We're talking about CNG, the safety concerns. Just call in 0805-092-0927. All right. So, engineer, I was asking you how you see this impacting the country's energy future. What would be the alternative for CNG if this is not adopted? Are there other alternatives if this is not properly implemented?
Yes, CNG is an energy source, and there are various forms of energy sources these days. We have the clean energy, which is solar, the wind vane, and the so
all right, let's
we
talk
have.
about solar. How does it work, and how can it be utilized for our good?
You mean the
No,
CNG
I mean
or the solar?
solar. Yeah, you mentioned solar. I said let's talk about that for a
Yes.
bit. Yeah.
The solar is an alternative to electrical system, that is electrical energy. As we all know, we have various forms of energy. Chemical energy, electrical energy, and in almost every homes you need electrical energy. So solar is alternative to maybe public utility systems that we have, and also generators also generate electricity.
Okay.
Now solar is in place, and hydroelectricity, we all know in Nigeria, is not a constant thing from the public utility system.
Okay.
So also is CNG. It's also a source of energy for some applications.
Okay.
Maybe yes.
So what was the challenge with the solar thing now? Because I understand that that's what you major on the solar. Why don't a lot of homes have this solar system yet? Is it you said it's just for electricity, right? Businesses can
Yes.
adopt it too. What are some of the challenges with solar in Nigeria?
I think the major challenge with solar is, as we are also seeing with CNG, is cost. Because solar is a well developed and robust system. It's a system with a lot of safety things put in place. A lot of installers have been trained as we speak today. They are doing installations, and people are actually leaving their generators because of PMS cost and coming to solar. And we all know solar is very clean. You put your batteries there, you put your panel. You don't hear noise. There's no noise pollution. There's no greenhouse gas emission. Just put everything that if you put your batteries in a safe, installed safely, putting the necessary protective circuits like your surge arrestors, like your circuit breakers, and well rated, and you use the appropriate cable size, you have issues.
Okay.
No issues.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, how can back to CNG now? How can the government ensure a smooth transition? I know you mentioned that experts should be put in place, and how can these challenges be overcome? Let's begin to talk about some of the solutions.
Challenges will be overcome as when people are determined
Okay,
to
what
do
are
what
some
is
countries?
right.
What are some countries that have adopted the CNG, and what can we copy from them?
You say what companies?
What are some countries now, like international best practice? What can we copy the good parts of this from?
We some very good companies abroad have their own prototype and done their installation, and we can always start from where they are and bring them in for adequate training. Most technological things we do these days already have a prototype. All we just need to do is to key in and do what is right. That's it.
Okay, all right. So now, how do this administration balance safety and the risks involved? How can it be balanced now?
The risk involved is actually the one that we can put, like, take for instance the containers that take these gases to where they will be dispensed, is to make sure that these are high pressure gases. Now the containers must meet the specification and conformity of design, must be able to support the pressure, because it's a compressed gas, that gas will exert on the container. Then the accident risk is just like accident transportation risk has to do even a PMS truck that leaves the port, that leaves this. Like, we have detectors that should be able to pick that there's a leakage. If you go to some of these terminals, they have detectors. Even in these days, we have what is it called? We have smoke detectors. Even our homes, we have fire detectors. There are gas detectors. The risk.
Continue like this where we're hearing the explosions. What will be some of the long term? What will happen in the next few years? What do you foresee happening in years to come if this is not properly implemented or looked into by the government?
Yeah, if we that one, when the risk is us, because when the risk is getting too much, people shy away, and when people shy away, you know what that means. Who is going to buy the products? Who is going to deploy them? Who is going to use them? So
Okay.
what we need to do is work on the safety measures.
Mm,
Move. When Rome was not built in a day, we just move. We keep moving. New
mm,
things comes out every day. If you can recall, the Chernobyl disaster that happened in 1986 in present-day Ukraine was actually detected in a country that is over a 500 miles away.
mm,
Why? They have air monitors. They have people that check the air every day.
mm,
The radiation leakage was detected far away. So if we have things in place, you don't even need to, we don't need to get to the place when it becomes an hazardous risk.
mm.
Once a leakage is coming out, a detector picks it and the trace is done, and that risk is contained. That's how it should go.
Yeah, but we've not gotten to that stage yet when it comes to advancement. So now, is it that these are things that should have been checked? Do you think that this is like putting the cart before the horse? Is it something that there were some things that should have been put in place first before the CNG's adoption? Or
Things, in any energy system, things must be in place. Is increasing the development that we talk about. You cannot start from zero when you want to deploy an energy source. You must the safety measures. There must be safety measures. It might be minimal, but it's a starting point.
hmm,
Then from that minimal level, keep growing and keep improving.
mm.
There
But
is.
but we see the way our motorists in Lagos drive. We see that there are a lot of rough driving in Lagos. Is it safe when you're driving on bad roads and with that kind of driving with CNG in the car? Is it what's the role of the FRSC and some other regulators on the road when it comes to collaborate collective efforts to ensure safety? Because
Mhm.
yeah.
You know, on transportation system, I think we have the Federal Road Safety. It's not only cars they need to check; they also need to check vehicles that are freighting hazardous substances like CNG.
Mm,
So, if it comes to if it becomes so risky for a truck carrying a CNG gas to ply the road during the day, you can limit them and say 6 a.m. you cannot ply a busy road. Go maybe in the evening, by 8, move, by 6, stop.
mm.
Things can be put in place. We will not, because of we want to enjoy one thing and expose everybody to risk.
Okay.
So we can if we want to.
How about
I
heat?
always,
How about heat? Are there concerns about heat? If it's exposed to sun for too long, are there concerns? Is there a possible explosion?
um, exposure to sun has nothing to do, because you see the containment for the CNG gas, the outside temperature, which is the ambient temperature of the surrounding, should not get into the truck. Because when you begin to look at temperature getting up and the pressure going up, no, it's part of the safety that the truck has been built for. You make sure that there is a maybe a two layer cylindrical that is inside that would not make the outside temperature. There is a safety guard that area.
Mm. So how about
So
this?
sun hitting the
Yeah.
truck is not enough for the temperature to rise and increase the pressure.
Mm. Mm. So how about the size? There are concerns about the size. Fitting into some cars, it's too big. Is it something that can be compressed in size as well?
You mean size or what?
Yeah, the size, because put in cars now, people are raising concerns about that. If you're doing public transport and then you have to put the whole gas cylinder behind your car, that's not very convenient for the drivers for and the drivee. So, what do you think can be? Is there anything that can be done about the size, or that's how it is? It has to be accepted.
That is how it is. It's like you buying fuel in your tank. For your car to move, you need to get a tank. And we all know better today that the premium methyl spirit is actually a volatile substance, as you know.
Mm,
It's also very risky. That is why you always tell a mechanic that when you notice a fuel leakage in a car, try to curtail it, trace it, and make sure that that thing is done. So
mm,
There's no difference between premium motor spirit and gas. They are all volatile substance. It's just that the motor spirit, is like a liquid and evaporates. If you leave a fuel outside, it will evaporate because the boiling temperature is very low. But the other one is more volatile because it's a gas. So the cylinder itself that houses the gas has a regulator.
Okay.
What we'll be looking at is how do we put a detector on that gas regulator so that when the gas is leaking, the detector picks it up, and the person driving the car knows that his gas is leaking somewhere and do what is necessary.
Okay.
Those are the safety areas we should be looking at.
So I was talking to a friend the other day, and he mentioned that one of the challenges is that a lot of the cars we have in the country now are not built for the CNG. Do you see that as a challenge, and can you please expatiate on that?
It's not a challenge because the burning system, the cars that are using CNG today, just what they need to buy is get the gas and buy the burning system. Instead of carburetor injector for fuel, you have a gas burner that injects it, that burns the gas and injects the energy into the combustion chamber. The conversion is not a complex one. It isn't.
And there's no risk with conversion like that. Even if
No risk. No risk. It's like you have a diesel car, you want to convert to fuel. What do? You change the engine.
Okay.
And you keep moving. That is the same thing. Well, change the burning system of the gas system, and the energy is injected into the combustion chamber and all that, and the car moves.
So what are some, apart from CNG now, are there other energy sources or types? That's your field. I don't know the name to call it, but are there some other energy alternatives that the government should be looking into to adopt as well to reduce the cost of transportation, given that fuel is expensive now?
We have electric cars now. As you know, we are not built for that. Electric cars is other forms of energy. You can use solar panels to generate your energy in the batteries and allow cars to go in there, pay the money they want to pay, and charge their batteries for electric cars. So there is. It's just that now we cannot, if we have not gone up to CNG gas, how will it take us to have a charging station? Yeah, so there are different forms of energy that are in use today. It's ability for us to key in. The first limiting factor is finance. Yes. Now, if government policy comes to play, government can say one or two banks. It can even make it mandatory, one or two banks support so and so project. That is what banks are meant for initially in the developed world anyway. The banks are meant to support projects that an individual cannot easily finance.
All right.
And the agreement is made and we'll move forward.
So what is, before you give your final solutions to this, what is the major challenge now you think that this administration is faced with as regards CNG's adoption by Nigerians?
Nigeria as a developing nation has many challenges, as we all know. They have so many things the government and the players of various industries need to do. So it's all boils down to one thing: availability of finance. That is what it boils down to. Don't think there's any other issue to it.
Finance from what? From whose part? Is it from the government's part, or from the Nigerians wanting to get, or from investors, or what role does the private sector play?
Government, as we said earlier, can subsidize some areas now. Government can come in to make a business grow, just like the way they do to farmers, give them free fertilizers. Government can say, let's have a layout of our towns. Let's lease the land to so and so where these CNG stations can be built. Government can do that because the land belongs to the government. Government can give you a tax free, say, do your project for 5 years, don't pay tax. After 5 years, you start paying. So there are many things they can do. if they want a particular area to
But
grow.
do you have concerns about transparency when it trickling down to before it gets to Nigerians?
Madam, now if we begin to let's restrict ourselves to energy, because if we go to transparency, accountability,
No,
and other
because
things in
no.
Nigeria.
The thing is, you are Nigerian and you are an energy expert. So I would like you to talk about your personal challenges as well when it comes to some of the issues that the energy sector is faced with, and some things that maybe some initiatives like future plans or way forward in terms of looking at the alternatives now.
Transparency, accountability, and provision of policies, implementation of policies is all needs people of good conscience to implement, people that want everybody to grow.
So at this point, where do the state governments now come in with this? When we talk about energy now, I need clarity on that. I can only ask so much because
state,
I would need you to.
As we all know, power generation, electrical power generation was exclusive right of government alone before. But today, we have states also generating the electrical power. I remember I'm from Edo State. My governor built a Osiromo power plant. Today, they are generating 110 megawatts of energy. So, while federal is doing theirs, states can do theirs, individuals can do theirs, companies can do theirs. It's all a guiding policy from the government. Federal government says the policy, this is what and what, this is what your strength and what your strength, this is your limitation, this and that. So that is just all we need.
So the state governments, are you saying that they should also adopt the CNG thing, or?
Of course they can.
They can. Do you think there's a way they can come in to reduce the cost for people in their states?
Yes, they can. They can, if they want to. Put things in place to invest, to attract people to come to that business. They are the policy makers. Put policies in place at various state levels, and get the ball rolling. That's the way it should be.
Okay, I'm about to let you go now on the program, but then what is the most significant benefit? Because I think we've been looking at the disadvantage. You although you said it's beneficial, but I read somewhere that it's good for the environment in terms of reducing pollution. Because in a city like Lagos, so many cars on the road, and we have the emissions and air pollution. So I hear that that's a very significant benefit of the CNG. Is that true?
That a lot of
the emissions. That's what the suits coming out of cars, and I hear that with CNG you don't have that. So that's an environmental advantage, right?
I think CNG has it. Almost every car these days have a catalytic design in their exhaust to reduce emission, because the CNG itself is a greenhouse gas maintained.
Okay, so what's the most significant benefits of the CNG? Because you said it's good to go, but in your opinion, what is the most significant beyond it being cheap, 215 naira per liter? But what else can you say is the reason you're applauding the initiative?
The cost we are talking about now is not much, and it can even go further if more areas are exploited and implemented. Cost is we will save more money than any other areas.
All right, let's get your final thoughts on the program this morning. And like I asked you, have you tried to install CNG in your own car, Engineer Frederick?
In my own house?
In your car. Have you tried to why do I keep forgetting the word? Have you tried to convert your own car to CNG?
No. I'm still on fuel. I'm still on the PMS.
Why haven't you converted?
Well, like we said, priority for everything. I think we'll get them. We have not. I've not done the conversion myself.
You haven't. But then, are you
because
training
because
to?
like I told you, at the moment we don't have any station line in Festac that where we can go there and get CNG gas. So if my gas finishes now, where will I run to? So the first thing is let's make it available in every nooks and crannies so that when you are driving, just like filling stations, you go in there, fill up your gas if it's finished, then you move forward. If you also look at the highways now, how many of these places do you have to get the CNG gas? You're traveling. So again, we need more infrastructural development as to make it more user friendly for each and everyone.
All right, Engineer Frederick, thank you for your time with us. Your final
Thank
words.
you.
Are those your final words
Uh,
on the program?
Final word is let's get together and move this country forward. Nigeria is a great nation in every area, and we find ourselves, being us professors, being us politicians, being us engineers. We should do our very, very best so that every areas become suitable and interesting to each and everyone.
All right, thank you so much. Enjoy your day, Engineer
Thank
Frederick.
you, man.
All
Thank
right,
you very
then.
much.
All right, so it's been quite a conversation with Engineer Frederick on Spotlights on Super FM. I'm sure we'll have this conversation again. We'll bring someone else to also give more insight on CNG and safety concerns and what we should brace ourselves for and how it benefits us as Nigerians and recommendations. All right, then. Thank you so much for listening on the other end of the radio. I'm Kimberly Obiebo, and Spotlight will be back on air from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. tomorrow. It runs from Mondays to Fridays. So stay tuned, enjoy the rest of the day's broadcast, and keep the positive spirit up. Don't go away.
Daily dose of the good stuff. 92.7 FM.
One Radio, Super 92.7.